So guys, we all have our fantasy drafts coming up. I'm going to be short and sweet here. 5 players you absolutely must draft in the standard 1-point PPR. All of these players can be had in the 5th round or later, and I'm going to tell you where to target them. These are 5 players I'm drafting in as many drafts as possible. I've got the list right here. Some of these are deeper sleepers. Some of these are just obvious picks in my eyes. These are the top 5 guys I am looking at. Number 5. It is Tyler Allgeier, who is my number 1 running back sleeper. He's a rookie on the Atlanta Falcons. He's the BYU product who was drafted in the 5th round. Guys, let's be real. The Atlanta Falcons are not going to be a competitive football team this year. By week 10, they should be in full tank mode. They have no legitimate running back. You look at their current depth chart, Cordero Patterson is listed as their RB1. After that, it's basically journeyman guys and a rookie that shows some promise in Tyler Allgeier. And guys, what I think is going to happen, Allgeier will be the starting running back by week 10 or week 11. You don't have to invest a high pick on him at all. In 12-team leagues, you're getting him round 14, round 15. You're using him to fill out your bench, and he's a guy to wait on. Very high upside. Obviously, we're not starting him early in the season, but he is a player that's going to have great value based on how the Atlanta Falcons season is going to go. They're going to want to try and see if he has a future in the NFL. There's no reason not to. He comes in at number 5 on my list, and he is my number 1 overall running back deep sleeper. He's also a very good player as well, but I just think the touches are going to come. You look at the Falcons' backfield, there's nothing there. Week 10, if the Falcons are 2-8, they're going to want to see what they have in the rookie. It just makes sense. So his value, drafting him with your second to last pick, with your third to last pick, the value is 100% there. I normally draft him, I'd say, with the 3rd or 4th last pick, you can get him very easily. He's ranked 204th right now on ESPN in ADP, the running back number 52. He is a really deep sleeper. Coming in at number 4, it's a guy that I think is going to move up boards a lot in the next few weeks. It's Kenneth Walker, who is another rookie from Michigan State. The Seattle Seahawks invested a top 45 overall pick in him, an early 2nd round pick, and I know Rashard Penny is there, but they already know what he is. They're going to want to see what this kid can do. Pete Carroll has already come out publicly saying this kid, Kenneth Walker, is going to get significant playing time, and it's the similar situation to the Falcons. The Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith, with Drew Lock, with whoever, they're going to be losing a lot of games early in the season, meaning towards the end of the season when they're tanking, they're going to want to see what they have in their rookies, and they made a major investment into Kenneth Walker. I expect him very similar situation where I think he'll be the starter by week 7 or week 8. It would help, an injury to Penny would help, but even without it, I'm constantly getting Walker round 8, round 9. That's kind of when I would target him, but it is kind of a moving target considering he's been moving up boards based off of, the recent comments that Pete Carroll has made. He is, right now 1A, 1B with Penny. But again, I think it's a situation where they invested a high pick in him. They already know what they have in Penny. If you want to draft the Seattle Seahawks running back with upside, make an investment for later in the season, it is Kenneth Walker. That's the guy to go with. He's number 4 on my list of players you must draft. Moving to number 3. Guys, let's make it easy with the quarterback situation. Let's not worry about the first 7 rounds, and let's just draft Trey Lance, who's in the best situation imaginable, with a great offensive line, with a good enough running game, with an unbelievable tight end, George Kittle, great wide receivers, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and a great offensive system with Kyle Shanahan. And also, he's a ridiculous dual threat player, and I think this is a very similar situation with Trey Lance that Jalen Hurts had last year, to where even if Trey Lance isn't the best real-life quarterback, due to his rushing ability, he's still going to be an unbelievable fantasy quarterback with an insanely high floor, because he's going to get 7 or 8 rushing touchdowns this year, in my opinion. So I absolutely love Trey Lance, guys. He is my quarterback in basically all of my leagues. I've noticed he's been moving up boards, though, a little bit. kind of going round 8, round 9. That's really when you want to target him. And really, there's no reason to draft a Josh Allen in round 4. There's no reason to draft a Herbert or a Mahomes in round 6. Use those earlier picks as investments on running backs, on wide receivers, on a high upside tight end like George Kittle, Trey Lance, my number 3 overall player. The quarterback, it's easy. This kid with his rushing ability, people say he's a first-year starter. Guys, even if he struggles due to his rushing ability, he's going to put up great fantasy points. He may not be the best QB in real life, but he will be fine in terms of fantasy overall. He comes in at number 3. Moving to number 2, it's Tony Pollard, the Dallas Cowboys' current number 2 running back behind Ezekiel Elliott. I think this is a number of things, but most importantly, Tony Pollard just needs to play more. And this is a situation where it's Zeke's last year probably with Dallas. They can get out of his contract after this year. They don't feel obligated to really give him a certain, snap count or number of carries. It's so obvious Tony Pollard is more explosive. He's better in the passing game on third downs as well. We know Dak likes to check down a lot too on those third downs. I'm expecting Tony Pollard to command 75% of this backfield's touches by week 10. Tony Pollard, target him in round 7 or round 8, depending on how the front end of your draft goes. But I do have a situation, and I will talk about the overall strategy at the end of this video. But Tony Pollard, unbelievable value later on, round 7, round 8. He will turn into an RB1. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry last year. So he is definitely really good. And also you have to think with Dallas, not a lot of receiver help outside of CeeDee Lamb. Zeke is getting up there. He might get injured. Even if Zeke doesn't get injured, I'm expecting them to shift to Tony Pollard. Dallas needs to win this year. They're going to be desperate to fend off an Eagles team that's really improved. So Tony Pollard overall is a guy I am targeting. Currently number 92 on ESPN's ADP and the running back 31. He's certainly going to finish higher than that, so he's a great guy to target in around, I'd say round 8, round 9. Sometimes you can even get him in round 10, but I was running into the issue where I would get sniped by someone else in round 8, and they would take him right in front of me. So people are drafting Tony Pollard in round 8, at least in my experience in these mock drafts. And then the number one guy I'm drafting, and I've basically drafted him in every single mock draft I've done. It's Jerry Jeudy. The stars have aligned. Jerry Jeudy entering his 3rd year. His first year had horrible quarterback play. His second year had horrible quarterback play and an injury. And his 3rd year, no injury. He's completely healthy, and he has Russell Wilson. And he was a beast in college. Guys, please, round 5, draft Jerry Jeudy. His ADP is 52. He's overall the 21st ranked wide receiver. He will finish as at least, I would say, a top 12 wide receiver this year. He's going to be a borderline number 1 wide receiver, over 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns for Jerry Jeudy. I like Courtland Sutton, but Jerry Jeudy, in my opinion, will establish himself as the unquestionable number 1 wide receiver in Denver. It aligns perfectly. The disruptions his first 2 years are gone. He's got a superstar quarterback. He's healthy. He's extremely talented. He was a beast at Alabama. This dude can play, and he will show it this year. And I've drafted him in every mock draft I've done because I can get him in the 5th round. And guys, the overall strategy, this is the overall strategy. Round 1 running back, round 2 running back, round 3 wide receiver, maybe DJ Moore if you can get him. Round 4 running back, so you're taking 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds. Round 5 Jerry Jeudy, round 6 George Kittle, round 7 Tony Pollard, round 8 Trey Lance, round 9 Kenneth Walker if you can get him, or Garrett Wilson. Folks, that is the overall strategy that I would be deploying in a potential draft for 2022. But guys, those are my top 5 players that definitely can be had in pretty much any draft. The highest ranked guy here is Jerry Jeudy, and he's going in round 5 of most mocks, 12-team leagues. Tony Pollard going in round 7 or round 8. Trey Lance is going round 8, round 9. Although it really depends if someone falls in love with Trey Lance, it could be an issue. Because I had a draft where someone was drafting him in round 7, and at that point it's like, it's tough to really judge. But genuinely, I would say, Get Trey Lance in round 8. I know it might seem like a reach. He will be a top 5 quarterback this season. He'll easily outscore Brady. He'll easily outscore Aaron Rodgers. Guys, fantasy quarterbacks, it's not reality. I'm not saying Trey Lance is better than Aaron Rodgers. The rushing ability, the offense, the scheme that Kyle Shanahan has, he's going to have 10 rushing touchdowns. It's going to be ridiculous. Kenneth Walker, I'm looking at around round 9, but I think by the time we're drafting, whether your draft September 1st, maybe it's late, August, he's probably going to be a round 7 guy, in my opinion. But right now, he's around 9, maybe round 8. I would target him probably. It depends. How deep are your running backs? If they're not deep, I would target him a little bit earlier. But if you have... The strategy is to draft 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds, and the other round you draft a receiver, and then round 5 you draft Jeudy, and then round 6 you draft George Kittle. That's the strategy that I would use. So I have running back depth because my flex is a running back and an RB1. If you're going round 1, late in the first round, Dalvin Cook, early second round, Cam Akers or Joe Mixon, and then third round, DJ Moore. Fourth round, Breece Hall or J.K. Dobbins. I love J.K. Dobbins too. People are scared off by J.K. Dobbins, but he came off the PUP list, and he is going to be absolutely explosive, even with Lamar Jackson possibly sniping some of his rushing touchdowns. And then Tyler Allgeier, you're drafting him in round 14, round 15 easily. You're playing with, more noobish people that don't really know. They're not going to, target him late. It's going to be very easy to get your hands on him and really just stash him on your bench. Stash him on your bench late and high upside type player, in my opinion. But guys, those are my top 5 players I would draft. I'm drafting pretty much in every draft if I can. I've had issues drafting Kenneth Walker, and I've had issues drafting Tony Pollard. Those are 2 players out of my 5 that seem to be going earlier. I've gotten Jeudy in every mock draft. I've gotten Trey Lance in every mock draft except one. And I've gotten Allgeier in every mock draft, obviously. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.